Hi, I'm Sergeant Clark Parrott with the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Just want to take a few minutes during this bridge building competition and just talk to each one of you, if I could, for a couple of minutes. Traffic crashes are the leading cause of death among teenagers. 17 teenagers die every day in this country due to traffic crashes. Traffic crashes can occur at any time, anywhere, in any place in Missouri, whether it's on the interstate, the U.S. highways, or our state-lettered routes. Well, what is causing these crashes? Well, the top three factors of those fatal traffic crashes are speed, distracted driving, and impaired driving. And I'd like to take just a few moments just to talk about each one of them. When you consider that speeding is one of the top factors of our fatal traffic crashes, why would we as an agency not do everything we can to have a presence on the highways to slow people down? Because what's the first thing you do whenever you see a police car? You slow down. I do it, and I'm one of the police officers. So we need to make sure that we're following all speed limits and we adjust our speed for the weather conditions. Whether it's rainy or cold, we could have some overpasses with frost and some sleet and snow on them. We need to make sure that we're slowing down anytime the weather changes. Secondly, we need to make sure that we are not driving distracted. Distracted driving, by definition, is anything that takes our task away from the job of operating the vehicle, such as cell phones, working a radio, your passengers inside the car, eating a sandwich or spilling a sweet tea in your lap. That's a distraction. Having an animal inside the car or other passengers can be a huge distraction. But also things external to the vehicle. People outside the car, other vehicles that we're watching instead of driving can be a distraction. And lastly, we need to talk about some impairment. Alcohol is one of the leading impairments in Missouri among our teenagers. However, we're seeing a rise in prescription drug use, whether it's Percocet, hydrocodone, things like this that can impair us, and also marijuana. I know there's several states around us, including Missouri, that have medical marijuana, but we need to remember that every time we are operating a vehicle, we cannot do it while we are impaired. And studies have shown that using marijuana does impair us, both in our reaction time and how we process information. So we need to make sure that every time we get behind the wheel of a car or a truck or whatever you're doing, that we are not driving impaired. We need to make sure that we're not distracted. We need to make sure that we're obeying all traffic laws, not just the ones we like, but all of them. And let's talk just a little bit about seatbelt usage. Currently in Missouri, our seatbelt usage in southeast Missouri is about 40%. That number is way below the state average for us. And whenever I see the traffic crash reports every day and I see that safety devices are not being used, that concerns me. Over the Thanksgiving holiday, we had 9 fatalities in the state of Missouri. 8 of the 9 were not wearing a seatbelt. And our unrestrained fatalities this year are roughly about 68%. So every traffic crash that we have, could be reduced if people were wearing their seatbelts. Seatbelts will save your life. Normally during the bridge building competition, I have the seatbelt convincer outside and show you all how seatbelts work to save your life. We have to make sure that we put our seatbelts on every time we get in a car, whether you're driving across town or across the state or across the city. We need to make sure that we are properly adjusted, that they're properly fastened, not under our arms or anything like that, but across our shoulder and down across our hips. Those are the 3 strongest points of the body. So we need to make sure that we have them properly adjusted and fastened every time we get behind the car. And again, we need to make sure that we are obeying all traffic laws, we're not driving distracted, and we're not driving impaired. And I would love to come visit your school or any of your clubs that you all have at your school. I know this is a weird time because of COVID and everything that is going on. But if your school administrators are up to it, I would be more than willing to come in, whether it's one small class at a time or anything like that. If you're interested in that, you can give me a call here at Troop Headquarters. Again, my name's Sergeant Parrott, and I would love to come out and see you. Have really enjoyed watching the bridges being broke this morning. I know a lot of you put a lot of hard work into them, but while we're euphoric about that and having a good time, let's remember that we have to make sure that we put our seatbelts on every time, that we obey all traffic laws, we don't drive impaired, and we certainly don't want to drive distracted. Thank you.